My loves, we're going to talk about what I think is one of the hottest topics, I don't know, in humanity right now that nobody's talking about is rejection. I've spent a lot of time this year thinking about the dynamics of rejection in terms of childhood wounds and what we incarnate with and how we magnetize more rejecting occasions to us. And I'm really coming to the conclusion. Am I there yet? Yes. Yes. I am firmly standing in the conclusion that rejection is one of the most painful, common human experiences. But if you've been hanging with me for a while, that all suffering serves a purpose. I would also like to add, so that doesn't sound like a new age platitude, suffering is not a punishment. And rejection can feel like micro suffering and big time suffering. So I'm going to talk about the meta function of rejection, that every spurn, every rebuff points to our inability to accept ourselves, all parts of ourselves. So rejection really is this advanced class in self-acceptance, and that's good news. I've got so much good news for you in this. And how we can create a life where we are choosing to respond consciously, lovingly, with compassion to everything, as opposed to numbing out and running away. And this is the work. This is how we transform our repetitive pain into very deep, abiding, like real esteem. So my loves, this is how to turn rejection into a power move. Hello, my loves. I have a question for you. How many ways do you think you have been or can get rejected? Kicked out of the club, pushed out of the clique, out of the class. You're not quite invited to the potluck. Or you get dumped, broken up with, or betrayed in supposed safe spaces. Jobs end, all those things. I myself have felt like an outsider for most of my life. I've had my share of hard no's and rejection. I felt the sting. I felt the loneliness. And I get now that every rejection was a doorway. It just like pushed me into it. It felt like pretty intense compression and initiation at times. But here's the thing. I'll give you the diamond right now. Rejection is a life class in self-acceptance. Let's get into it. What you're about to hear are the highlights from a class on healing rejection that I gave within our heart-centered membership. And it was deep and it was really tender work. The premise and the prayer is that we can heal from rejection and we can choose responsiveness and consciousness in the face of rejection. That's how we bridge our way to self-acceptance, and that's how we get to freedom and power and love and clarity of mind and more creativity. Here we go. Every rebuff, every snub, all the words we went through, the loss, the dejection, the resentment, unmitigated despondency, is a call, is a lesson, is a masterclass in profound self-acceptance. That's the function. Rejection serves a higher purpose. It's an inroad in. Okay, so let me walk you through 5 points. So 1, wanting to be seen is a noble and natural aspiration. Wanting to be seen is legit. Wanting to be seen, felt, heard, understood. It's human. It's honorable. It's actually honorable. What if we reframed that from thinking, because this is what I've done so often, is I would do the spiritual bypass with my longing to be understood. Oh, if I were more self-referencing, if I were more Buddhist, I wouldn't need to be seen. I'm needy right now. No, reframe. Wanting to be seen, met, understood, legitimate, healthy, natural, righteous. Requirement. It's a requirement. We've talked before in some classes. I want to do a whole session on this, but going where the love is. why would we go anywhere where we need to cajole, convince, compel someone to see us, to hear us? Not everybody's going to understand us, but don't we want to be in spaces where that's the intention? I want to know you. I want to see you. I want to understand. Help me understand you. Number 2, endings are inevitable. Smelling salts. We're going to be rejected. Relationships will run their course. I mean, we could get really metaphysical here. I mean, it's all our planetary alignments. We get into ego-centered relationships, and those will end according to like the lessons that our soul is mapping out for us. We get into soul-centered, heart-centered relationships, and those will shift, but those last for lifetimes. There are going to be endings. Everybody here knows that every relationship is a vehicle for healing. Every single one. Obviously, the familial stuff, the family of origin stuff, but the passing, the fleeting, the employee who worked with you for 1 week, the person you're volunteering next to, the guy in the cafe, all of those are energetic containers, whether they're lasting 2 minutes or 20 years. All of those containers are chemistry coming in with other chemistry for you to either expand, retract. Somehow you're going to have a chemical reaction to the 2 energetic agents called relationships. And endings of all of those, whether it's just you're going to shift the old form of the relationship and stick together, or you're going to peace out, all inevitable. Rejection usually begins as a childhood experience, right? We all know this. I want to say something else about lessons. Run through this quickly. I write about this in How to Be Loving. This is what happens for most of us. We wake up when we're in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and we say, oh my gosh, I've been dating the same person. I've been going from job to job, but I keep attracting the same boss. It's the same theme. It's the same pain body of rejection, of betrayal. You just fill in the blank. You start to wake up and you see you're repeating the pattern just in different containers. You go to your therapist, you go to your coach, you go to your really wise girlfriend, you join a membership, and that awakening gets supported. And you make the connection. You go, wow, this abandonment theme that I keep playing out in all of these different kind of relationships actually originated in my childhood. I got abandoned or neglected by a parent, by a sibling, by my community. You make the connection, you go, wow, I'm just playing out that abandonment theme in my adult relationships. And oh my goodness, so much healing happens. You reparent yourself. You look at those wounds. You start to regulate your nervous system. And you stop repeating that pattern. You attract a different kind of teammate, different kind of love, different kind of guy at the cafe. Okay, that's only half of the story. And here's the problem with this. When we put all of the emphasis that our wounding came from our family of origin, it makes it actually much more sticky and difficult to move on and to forgive people. I have another way to look at this, which is before we incarnate, it doesn't matter whether you believe in past lives or not. Just look at this as a soul. The soul comes in with the theme. The soul says, okay, we're going to work on abandonment topics this lifetime. We're going to work on neglect this lifetime. And so we're going to magnetize this family. We're going to magnetize to you. We're going to create these family of origins, these community experiences, this early childhood experience, so that we can really drive this lesson home. And you can work through it. You can feel the wounds. This is boot camp. This is what it means to be on earth. You have your awakening, you have your strengthening, you realize you have a huge role in creating your reality. You are the healer, not the wound. And you brought this in with you. You brought it in with you. It's revelatory for a lot of us. Makes it way easier to reframe the people who played a role in your theater, followed the script. Your soul says, okay, we're gonna do some theater here around this pain theme. So these people showed up. They're just actors to help you get the lesson, to help you wake up, to your true nature. Way easier to let go, way easier to forgive. I brought this in and you served this role. And you can actually get to a place of, yes, Dana, that this is a deep gift. I don't know if you're saying this teaching is a deep gift or being wounded by our family of origin is a deep gift. But what I'm talking about is family of origin, where you actually give thanks to the bad actors in your play. Thank you. Thank you for the pain. Thank you for the challenge. Now I know who I am. And that's what it means to transmute the pain into power. Okay, let's talk. Point 3, clarifying the rejection. I wish I could find out who said this. I know it's a Zen meditation teacher. No one can wound nor reject you like you yourself can. We are our greatest rejectors. When we get that, when we own that, we stop blaming other people for not inviting us to the potluck. So for those of us, I mean, this happened on every side over the last 4 years. And it may happen again with things coming down the pike. A lot of rejection, a lot of division, a lot of polarization. What if we stopped during that and thought, how do I reject myself? I'm not invited to Thanksgiving dinner. I can't go to the community center. I'm not getting along with my people on staff because we have different opinions about mandates and things like that. Whoa, hold, stop. What if everybody stopped, which almost nobody did? More lessons to come because we got more divided in that passage. What if we stopped and said, how am I being a tyrant to myself? How am I rejecting myself? Would have softened us. I think we would have engaged very differently with people. Okay. All the dejection points to our inability to accept all parts of ourselves. It all points to our inability to accepting all parts of ourselves. We ourselves are our greatest rejectors. Okay, 4, the function of rejection. This is an esoteric perspective that all rejection situations come from an imbalance of yin and yang energies. So either we're too much in our masculine or we're too much in our feminine, creates that situation, or the other person, the other chemical agent is being too much in their masculine or too much in their feminine, and it creates this rebuff. It's almost like a kind of ricochet. So if we can move more into balance, I think a simpler way to put this is, if we can move more into balance with our nervous system, we will be way less triggerable and we will be less triggering to other people. We reject certain parts of ourselves and we promote other parts so that we can feel special. So this is one of my favorite teachings of A Course in Miracles, is they talk a lot about the special relationship, and that most of us want to be in special relationships. We want to be with like the baller, the richer person, the better looking person. We basically want to be with people who have their shit more together than we do, so that we can we can think that we're more special because the special person chose us. That is a recipe for outright rejection. We're rejecting the parts of ourselves that are special and unique to us. We're rejecting the parts of ourselves that we're pushing away. And we are going to magnetize more rejection to ourselves. I mean, this is just, I'll just take a hard right turn for a second. This is like the dating advice I've been giving now that I've dated lots and now I'm in a committed partnership. Just go for someone normal, because what's happening in the self-help space, everybody wants their king and everybody wants their queen. We want these people that we put on pedestals so that we feel more lovable. And so that we can say, look at world, look what I scored. They're amazing. You see that I'm amazing too? They say I'm amazing. I must be amazing by virtue of association. Big setup. That's all going to crumble. So the fear of being rejected turns into the fear of annihilation. Fear of being rejected turns into the fear of annihilation. I think the fear of annihilation is the most gnarly fear that humans have. It's the most unconscious fear. It's basically a fear of not existing. Anybody had that experience? It's so agonizing. You don't exist in someone else's reality. And it starts with, gaslighting is just the tip of the iceberg. You don't hear my opinions. You don't want me here. This is really this is the apex of war, right? Fear of annihilation. So what happens? So follow the sequence. So fear of rejection, unexamined, fosters this fear of annihilation. If we are afraid of not even existing in somebody else's eyes, we are not going to show up fully. We're not going to be ourselves. We're going to avoid situations that could potentially trigger us. We will not lean on our support system. I've really become aware of this since we've been having lots of conversations around nervous system regulation. And I just put out a podcast yesterday about why we isolate. So there's healthy reasons to isolate, and there are really unhealthy reasons to isolate. But I see what's happening with a lot of us is that we don't want to lean on our communities. We come up with these excuses. Haven't talked to somebody in a while. I've been a bad friend. There's too much of a gap. It would just be weird if I reached out now. Or they're too busy. Look, everybody busy. Okay. Listen, people want to help you. My life experience has been every time I've showed up, whether I just am texting someone about a business thing, or I'm on my knees. And there's one time I was in the middle of my divorce, had my text chain, my group set up with my friends. And I need you to light candles. I need somebody to call me. Can we get on a Zoom? I'm really falling apart right now. And of course, everybody dropped everything, as we do. We want to help. We are love. We do it. We all do it. We're all great friends, learning how to be better friends. And at the end, through the subsiding sobs, I just thank you. Everybody in their own way said, thank you. Thank you for letting me help you. You helped me see how loving I was that day. People want to help you. Ask. But if we fear that we're going to be rejected, we won't lean on our people. Have to lean on our people. So let me put that in a couple different ways. One, if we want abundance, opulence, wealth, prosperity. So that's all root chakra stuff, right? All root, first and second chakra, that red, orange, fiery energy, creative ideas, happy willfulness. When we are resentful because we have been rejected and we continue to perpetuate the fear of rejection, it creates this energy blockage in the lower chakra area. That energy blockage is going to keep all that juicy prosperity, abundance of all things coming to us. We can heal this. We can start to heal it immediately by leaning on the people that we need help from, by moving into community. Community dissolves everything. So let's talk about point 5, healing rejection. Community is the medicine because the ego can't hide in community. And because we're all at different levels of our growth. You get into community, whether it's a membership or it's an AA meeting or it's a mastermind or it's tonight is goddess night in my apartment. 5 of us been meeting every month for 11 years. 2 things happen. 1, you can't fake anything. You just walk up a little bit disheveled and a sister goes, "What's going on?" 2, there is some unspoken accountability. "Hey, you said you were going to call him. Hey, you said you were going to break up. What's going on?" 3, people know more than you know at times. They can help you through the things. So, medicine of community will help dissolve the fear of rejection, and it's a direct path to abundance. So, I have a question for you. Can you sit with the discomfort of having neglected yourself? We've all neglected ourselves. This is really a conversation about self-rejection. Can you sit with the discomfort of neglecting yourself? And then let me just push this a little further. Can you sit with ease with the discomfort of having neglected yourself? Eventually, I think we all can. I know the answer is you can. We're all going to get there. Ho'onopono is really great for this. So, in the heart-centered space, rather than giving the Ho'onopono prayer, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, rather than offering that to somebody else because we want things to get rectified, which is a beautiful intention. We say that prayer to the parts of ourself that we've rejected. We offer the prayer to our inner child. You do that, I'm telling you, you will cry and you will start to see this inventory of how you have neglected yourself. I'm sorry. Do it right now internally. Your inner child, however they show up. They're 3 years old, they're 5 years old. This is going to be different a lot of the times. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. When I do that, I see all the nights I've stayed up too late. I see all the times, I overate or I went without eating. See all the times I showed up at a meeting and said stuff just to be cool. See all the times I just don't even take a bathroom break. I just answer 5 more emails before I go take care of myself. See all the times I've just been too emboldened. Yeah, long list of neglect. And the beauty of giving your inner child Ho'onopono prayer, the beauty of this prayer, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you. You're acknowledging that the forgiveness happens. I love you. Even your unhealed stuff has the capacity to forgive because the unhealed stuff has got the healer inside it. If you want to go deeper, if you want to be with like minds and strong hearts, consider coming into our heart-centered membership. I consider it a refuge. It's a place where we can come in out of the storm. If you have ever been inspired by what we're doing here with the podcast, just think podcast expanded, more intimate and regular. We get together 2 Thursdays a month for a live class. If you can't be there, of course, you get the recording and you get access to dozens of playlists of meditations, mantras, cool music, and many, many practices for meditation and rituals. So come into the membership, or you can just drop in for a class. Every class, 2 Thursdays a month, $20. Head to daniellelaporte.com/membership. We are holding hands and we are going all the way. You will hear me right here next Wednesday, always on Wednesdays, for another episode. And remember, in terms of rejection and acceptance, every incident, every rebuff and snub is taking you closer into your shadow territory, that unhealed content, beautiful, rich, unhealed stuff that when you look at it, you love it, you bring it into your heart, you become more of your true self. Capital true, capital self. All right. I'm so glad you're here. With love, Danielle. Thank you so much for listening, for feeling, for spreading the word. With love.